¿Qué es eso? No, gracias. I was watching this video on Akaash Singh, and I think for a while there, growing up, he is living my worst nightmare. My worst nightmare. A lot of people's worst nightmare, where you get in love with a person so much that you devalue yourself. Like Akaash Singh just completely devalued himself. And this is a man that waited till he was 30 to date somebody. Like, that goes to show that it's better to get experience with growing up than to just give it all. By the way, my name is Noel, here at Urban on Life. And just reacting to this Akaash Singh situation where the man enters a nightmare. Check it out. This is the girl.
My pussy in these white boy frat houses.
His money is our money, and my money is my money.
Akaash Singh spent years building a very specific public image for his wife, and then she spent about a month tearing all of it down herself. Between the finance ultimatums,
this is the way I see it. Okay, I got into 2 bad relationships, but in both of them, I was always ready to just walk away. I'm okay with just walking away. Calling it quits, saying good luck, lady. It didn't work out. Always ready to move on. My first wife, I just moved on. I said good luck in life. Then I got married the second time, and that was a big mistake. My second one was actually the worst mistake. When I'm still battling the divorce, we're in court right now, and it's been over a year. It's about to be 2 years. And that was actually worse than the first one. But I had my intention when I got married. Now, I always try to prepare myself to get the divorce or to move on in life. And I didn't really plan out my divorce properly. But I'm going to wait till the divorce finishes and talk more about how it went. It could still work out. So I could still get to keep the house, maybe. Let's see.
the comparisons to other men, and the podcast appearance that somehow made everything worse. There's genuinely no clean way to summarize what happened here.
No.
And the wildest part is, none of it was forced out of her. She posted almost all of it herself. So let's actually walk through how this started, because
like, this is my personal understanding. Getting with a girl, it's just building a good relationship where that's my friend and I'm her friend, to the point that you can unplug us. We planned everything around each other. So the person got to be good company. As soon as the other person starts showing you that bad company, you just got to move on. So the biggest con is getting married. Now that makes it more difficult. Like I said, I got married the second time and it was horrible. I got married the first time and I went back with my first ex and we're working on it. We're not really working on it. We're just living as two individuals who cross the street next to each other. No real emotions, just people happen to be in the same house.
it began a lot more mildly than where it ended up. It started with content about money. On her own podcast, she laid out exactly what she expected from a partner financially. No ambiguity about it.
How do you and your husband split finances?
We don't.
We don't.
If you want to work, all for that. But like any man that doesn't want to have a joint bank account or isn't being transparent with his account, that's a fucking red flag. His money is our money and my money is my money. That
And she's that pretty that can say stupid shit like that, because one man leaves, she'll get another one and another one. Like, she got a list, a roster of men who are willing just to throw everything out the window for them and crash out.
is actually my number one. They must be generous with their finances from day one.
She wanted total transparency from him and full independent control over her own money separately. Not exactly a red flag by itself. Plenty of people run their marriages that way. It's more of a pattern once you see what came right after it.
For those of you who are new here, hi, my name is Justine. I'm a stay-at-home wife, but I don't cook or clean because I don't feel like it. And my husband is a full-time stand-up comedian, and he buys me lots of nice things.
She wasn't hiding any of
And you know, people like her, they just make a collection of things to buy just to get it, just to fuck it. I don't really need it, but I'm gonna just have it there. You know how much of a drain that is on men?
this either. She wasn't cooking, wasn't cleaning, and was letting her husband's income cover everything, and she said so proudly on camera, like it was just who she is. And that theme kept building from there.
And it's just like the best fucking part is like living with your best friend
Also, it's like there's
who
always-
buys you designer shit.
Marrying your best friend who also buys you luxury goods isn't exactly a crime. Combined with everything else, though, a pattern was already forming before the real controversy even started.
That's not really a best friend. That's like a, what's it called? USAID, financial help. You got the government on you. That poor guy.
Because the content didn't stay lighthearted for long. It shifted into her comparing her own husband to other men on a podcast in front of an audience, and it wasn't flattering.
Would y'all ever have an together with your husband?
Priya,
She tried.
I'm actively trying to have an orgy because this couple is so fucking good looking, and you haven't seen Nav yet, but wait till you fucking see him. His body goes crazy. His face card always slays, never declines. And it's kind of weird because I'm talking about your husband. I just know that Nav's dick is like at least 10 inches.
I mean, even that, the fact that you're talking about another man's dick just goes to show that, you know what? He had no limits. He had no barriers, no standards. Just do you. Whatever stupid idea comes to mind, just say it. How freeing is that? That you could just disrespect your man and it's okay. That's insane.
That's not a joke at her own expense. That's a joke at Akaash's expense from his own wife, to an audience that was absolutely going to clip it and run with it. And here's the actual reason this became a full-blown controversy, instead of just an awkward clip cycle. For years, Akaash had publicly described his wife a very specific way.
My wife also hadn't had any sexual partners, so that helped us connect a lot more.
Let me ask you this.
I mean, also, you're talking about you got yourself a career, you worked your ass off until you were 30 to get a girl. And then finally, when you meet that girl of your dreams, that's what it was all for. That's it. For that moment. Even worse, because we're talking about a moment that's going to haunt you for the rest of your life. Like you don't even know how to take this tick off of you, how to get this problem off of you, how to walk away. You're like stuck. That's crazy. You're walking around with 100-pound barbells tied to your ankles where I can't even breathe around that bitch.
And I-
You believe her.
If you've seen her, then it's hard to believe. I remember I was just like, what?
He'd built an entire public narrative around her.
How about looking at that girl? I like looking at people as an individual and just think about what do they really want. And if you're not in the picture of what they want, walk away.
Being reserved, inexperienced, almost sheltered. Watching that story collide head-on with what she was now posting herself is exactly what made this explode the way it did.
I was popping my pussy in these white boy frat houses.
When I got to college, I was like, oh my God, it's like open season and like all these guys are like starting to give me attention and like everyone's being so social.
Neither of those line up with the sheltered image Akaash had spent years selling, and the internet noticed the gap immediately. This became one of the bigger conversations happening online at the time, with people specifically asking why Akaash seemed to
And you know, we all know people like that.
just let it happen instead of saying something. Eventually, she actually joined her husband's own podcast, Flagrant, and that's
I think we all know men like that. I call them Mario Sanchez. These are just men who take everything from the wife. Like, wow, you worked your ass off your whole life to have that individual next to you, but then that individual happens to be hell.
where things got worse instead of better.
What is loud? What was that?
His dick smells.
No, but for real, you got a stink dick husband sleeping on the floor. like, what's wrong with you? Hell?
Even his own co-host couldn't resist taking a shot at him live on his own show. You could see it on Akaash's face by that point. He was clearly exhausted from getting dragged online.
The reason they're saying that is based off of her words.
Yeah, but I think when you hear her words, what you have to understand is that she's exaggerating everything so much because she has so little life.
Like this guy right here do not care about himself or his wife. It's all about making more money. That's Adam 22. At the end of the day is how can I make more money? All right, got his wife doing OnlyFans, got his wife doing porn, and himself doing porn. That's crazy. That's true detachment. And they're both happy with each other. They got a daughter, and it's like, yo, we only live once. Let's make this money. It's like playing a video game, and just the points keep going up and up. I wonder when do you stop, though? You know what? I think they just are fine with just making more money, period.
Experience.
When Adam 22 of all people is the closest thing to a defender she's got, and even that defense amounts to she just doesn't have much life experience. That tells you where public opinion actually sits. After that appearance, Akaash mostly disappeared from his own hit podcast and leaned into touring instead. And in a separate conversation, Andrew Schultz made it clear exactly how he actually felt about the whole situation.
Delete the podcast.
Delete ours?
No more influencing. No, I'm talking about her.
Oh, we're working on it.
No influencing. I don't want you don't let your wife be influencers. Don't let your wife be podcasters, man. What happened, man? Akaash wife made you want to not be married? What happened?
I'm never gonna tell the world. I ain't going through that shit. That shit is crazy.
What happened?
I didn't realize we had Akaash's picture.
Can I say what I want to say?
Yeah, of course. This is what Brilliant Idiots is about.
All I want to say is simply this.
Keep your wife off the internet.
Motherfucking internet. Why does your wife have a microphone in her face? Do not allow your wife to start a motherfucking podcast, bro.
Yes.
Okay, there can be one entertainer in this family, and it shall be me. I'm the comedian. I'm out here on this road. I'm out here getting the money. Let me use some of this money to help you do some other things, yo. Because you don't need a microphone in your face because you're going to fuck around and ruin us. All right? Not just you.
That's about as direct as advice gets. Keep your wife off the internet, full stop. Coming from a close friend instead of a stranger online, that lands very differently. Meanwhile, she didn't slow down at all. She kept posting through the entire backlash and leaned further into exactly what people were criticizing her for, while her own podcast quietly ended after a falling out with her co-host. But she resurfaced almost immediately on a different show, hosted by one of the only people who'd publicly defended her during the worst of it.
I just feel like when I first got into this, I was like, I just want to be myself 110%. And the audience isn't stupid. And my friend told me that. She said, you can feel someone's energy through their content, if they're genuine or not. So I just always, first and foremost, was like, I just want to be genuinely myself. It just felt most authentic to who I was. I like woke up in the morning and like my asshole was a little sore. Oh my God. Like in hindsight, I also feel like sometimes if people want to take you in a negative way, like they will, you know?
I absolutely agree. Because I think like that is like one of the reasons that I was like, oh, like we'll get along, right? Because
whatever growth you'd expect after a stretch like that, none of it shows up here.
When I see like influencers or creators, the reason that I don't fit into the space, and I'm sure you also feel that way, is because I do feel like it's like overly curated, right? I see most people and I'm like, I've been around these people long enough to now understand like, yo, out of all the ways that you present yourself on the internet, you are not that.
Right.
Isn't that the guy that she wanted to sleep with? You know, how stupid can Akaash Singh be to let this flow? Well, he doesn't have a choice, does he?
Notice the dynamic already forming. He's not interviewing her, he's bonding with her, and it sets the tone for basically everything that follows.
I've heard people say much worse things about Jasleen on the internet than what she said about this other creator. Y'all would rather people just appear to be good than people actually be honest and
real, authentic
about their feelings, right? Because for everybody who's like, oh, like she's a mean girl and she's saying mean things about other creators, in your response to her, you guys are being the exact same thing that you're accusing her of doing. I actually love her response to this podcast. Honestly, Justine, if y'all listening, keep that shit up. Be more honest.
Framing every single piece of criticism as jealousy of an authentic, honest woman is a generous read, to put it mildly. That same host also had his own separate beef to air out, this time with another online figure named Myron.
Myron from Fresh and Fit is beefing with Akaash Singh and Justine Singh. I guess their beef stemmed from when
Myron had a point. I think Myron takes it to an extreme and what his take is on dealing with women. But sometimes you got to go to an extreme level because, my God, what she's doing to Akaash, it's just pointing out to everybody, do not be this guy. This is sad. Could make anybody lose it.
Myron did flagrant. So Myron just kind of says yo, your wife a hoe. I guess he felt a way that when I went up on your platform, you guys had this energy for me, and now I got something that I could pull on you. And that to me was the first bit of this was kind of corny. You didn't have that energy towards Akaash when you were on their platform. You kind of just sat there and took it. When you saw an opportunity through the man's wife, that's when you decided, yo, this is what I'm going to hit.
No, because Akaash was trying to make a point that Myron was maybe overdoing it, all right? That he had no reason to overdo it. You got to respect women and do this for women. So Myron was quiet. And then the evidence came out. The facts came out. The fact that Akaash Singh was going through hell. He had no support from his wife. So now he could talk with the proof. Put that in his face.
Him over the head with this. Akaash and Justine are going to profit from this, by the way. Y'all think that, Akaash really mad, right? That's his wife. You think that there's anything in the world that y'all know about his wife that he don't know about his wife? That don't change y'all life. Y'all still living in your mom's bedroom, talking about, his life over. Meanwhile, him and Justine sitting around, grabbing a check, opening up her fifth Birkin.
There's a lot going on in that answer, but strip away the delivery and it boils down to this. He thinks defending her loudly benefits him too.
I guess now let's get into rubbing people the wrong way.
Yeah.
Obviously, Myron does what he does, and then the incels do what they do. How did you feel?
I remember because you asked me this question, what is it like to look at think pieces and people analyzing your marriage and your personality? It feels weird and it feels surreal because you're but you don't know.
I'm going to say this much. I think relationships should be temporary, right? That moment in time that makes you feel good, right? With each other, given the green card to just walk away. And it's okay with me. Just go, all right? We don't need to be around each other, all right? This whole long relationship for years is bullshit, right? Because you're not happy with people for years.
You don't know anything about me. You've never talked to me. You're taking the intention of this video in the complete wrong way.
I was popping my pussy.
The misogyny was really crazy. It was bizarre to me because I'm my husband can go on stage and literally has a joke in his special about getting a hooker isn't cheating, it's just outsourcing, which I really don't care. I think it's a funny joke, but it's if I say something that's equally, raunchy, then I'm a whore or all these things. I don't give a fuck if I was a virgin or I wasn't, or if my body count was 100. I don't even want to say his fucking name, but this fucking loser whose name you said, he was on the Flagrant podcast 5 fucking years ago. And my husband just humbled the shit out of him and basically embarrassed him because he was I think what you do is corny.
But it doesn't really matter because at the end of the day, Myron was right. He put the facts on the screen. Let us all know, yo, this man is being bamboozled, being put through the mud, being embarrassed. Do not be like this guy. It makes me cry. I think it makes every man cry. Everybody looks at this relationship and say, yeah, she's pretty, but ain't nobody that pretty. Or you think, you as a man, you already think of yourself as ugly. A lot of men do. I don't need no other women validating that shit. Talking about being my wife and calls you ugly and stink ass and all that negative shit.
Point that she gets called names for saying things her own husband jokes about on stage is genuinely fair. That specific double standard is real. Where it gets shakier is the leap from this one situation involved misogyny to the entire backlash was misogyny, which is a much bigger claim to make.
So when all of this first started, it was like very clear to see that there was like a lot of bot farming as well. And I could tell there were bots because like the 1,500 followers I gained on Instagram, I immediately lost like within the span of 2 months. So it was like up and then down, which is funny because they say very racist things against Indians and South Asians, but like that's where you get your bots.
A follower spike followed by a follower drop is a real explainable pattern. It doesn't really explain away months of specific detailed criticism about specific things she actually said and did.
It's kind of a part of, unfortunately, like the fame kind of thing. And I'm not...
This should be used in school, in classes, teaching men the reality of things, right? How that man is crying on the inside and nobody sees the hurt that he's going through. All of it just to win over a girl. Like you hear crazy stories about men going above and beyond just to win a girl, but this is insane. Winning a girl and keeping her next to you while she trashes you and everything you've built, like you're not worth it, or you there's like a stepping stone for her to move up, but putting you down, come on now. This should be studied and referenced in every college. Like school should talk about this. This is a very important study. How you may think you want to be in this position, but it's not worth it. I think all men got to put themselves in a more positive position. This is like the worst case scenario. Again, this deserves being studied. Akaash Singh should study this in that university that he put up. Streamer University. This is like the perfect case of why we got to look at relationship for real, where we at, where they're at. How men just got to learn how to pick up a girl. Once he sees a red flag, walk away. Get some and walk away. That's it. Get the little moment of happiness, because that's all we do. We live, we try to be happy for the day, for the moment, and then we keep it moving.
I don't feel like I've reached a certain like thing at all, but I think when people start to know about you, it's like kind of the downside.
They don't even have kids together.
Of it. Like, is that the reason you want to go viral, is like the video hating on me? Okay, if that's fine, but like that's not the reason like I would want to go viral. I went viral being myself, you dumb fucking bitch. Like,
there's a real gap here between being widely known and being well thought of, and she doesn't seem to register the difference.
It's narrative building is a true art, and it's also a science, right? If I can convince you, the person I'm building the narrative about, that the narrative is true, then I've won the battle. Ask yourself, does everyone think this? Or is it that when you go to a comment section, you think that that's what everyone thinks?
He's straight up telling you that his entire strategy is convincing the subject of a narrative that the narrative is true. That's not journalism. That's just repeating someone's own talking points back to them until they sound like consensus.
Akaash checked you publicly to your face as a man on a podcast. You spun the block 5 years later and went through his wife to get to him. If you really felt strongly in that moment when he said it to your face, you should have said something. But instead you waited and went through his girl to do it. And I don't know where most people are from. Where I'm from, no matter if I have real issues with somebody, we would call that person pussy.
I don't agree with his point right there. I mean, I'm assuming he's talking about Myron Gaines that went on the podcast with Akaash Singh, and Akaash Singh just ate him up and talked shit about him. And for 5 years, Myron Gaines didn't really say anything. And once this became viral, the fact that Akaash Singh was being treated like shit, once that became viral, then Myron came on. What the hell is wrong with this? Then Myron came on saying, look what I was saying. Look at the trash this guy is going through. My point exactly. So I think he was just waiting for the evidence to come out, and it came out. That how this girl was treating Akaash is the worst case scenario that no man should be living under. And it's sad to say, but no man should be going through this. And then there's a lot of men going through this, and all we can do is step back and say, never me. That's not me. Like I went through hell with my or my second wife, and all the men just look and say, that will never be me. They look at me like I'm retarded. Like I have my personal intention, but I don't know those guys. So I never try to make those guys happy. I'm like, I got my own intentions. I got my own reasoning. So my plan didn't work out. So now I'm going to part 2 of my plan. All right. My goal in life is, try to win this case, this divorce case, which is not easy. It's expensive, but it is what it is. I'm going to try my best to try to stay on my feet and stay home. And I think with Myron Gaines, like going back to what he was saying, Myron just used the evidence to destroy Akaash. It's a better argument. It's a better narrative.
Pussy.
Whatever you think of Myron's methods, the underlying point holds up. If a conflict was worth having publicly, it was worth having with the actual person you had the conflict with.
Why do you think that they don't like you? Like all the brown girls,
Again, it got nothing to do with color. It got to do with personality and the person that you are. And she is a disgusting person, right? Nothing to do with color. You guys think you're slick, trying to use politics for this shit when she just ain't shit. She is the scariest human being that every man should be afraid of. And this guy's not afraid of it because this is the guy probably hitting it on the low.
I have a theory, right? But
what's your theory?
I think a lot of it steeps in jealousy. I think, listen, it's not a secret.
Mm-hmm.
You on TikTok popping bags.
Mm-hmm.
You're married to Akaash, right? I think a lot of them want to be in your spot. I think most hate stems from jealousy. Most people's hate has nothing to do with the person.
Mm-hmm.
It really results.
And this guy's talking that he wants to get some. He's actually getting some before the show or after the show, but he's getting some. All right. So that's it. He's just being nice to a girl that likes him and just trying to be slick.
In, yo, I want what you have.
Yeah.
Or I can't get what you want. It's like people who shit on me having a pod. It's like, yo, ain't nothing stopping you from getting some cameras and doing a pod.
Exactly.
Again, it's not, if it was that easy, you would do it, right? But you're not going to do it like me, right? And
right, because you're hooking up with another man's wife. It'll be fun if you get her pregnant and then tell Akaash that's your kid. That will be funny.
And that bother you. Yeah. Look at the things I've actually had to go through with my partner to be in the spot to pop Birkins on you.
Yeah.
I'm always come back to the popping Birkins. Yo, because I be sitting around thinking yo, if I was just Lee, I would be doing it worse. That's why God knew to make me have to struggle for my shit, because God knew if he gave me all of that shit at 25, 26, I'd be I would go on TikTok every day, just grab a rack and just count it in front of me oh, y'all mad? Y'all mad? Yo.
By this point, the interview has completely lost the plot. This isn't really about Jasleen anymore. It's two people validating each other's relationship to money and attention.
I think men need to feel like they can provide and they can achieve, their dream to be in a functioning relationship. I feel like if that's not working, then the relationship part can't work, in my opinion, from what I've seen. So I was just praying to God super hard every single day. I would get on the train and I would see these girls in Burberry trench coats, big diamond ring, Louboutins. And I was just please God, I just want to be that symbolized success to me. But I wanted to have success because I also wanted our relationship to work, because I wanted him to feel like he was the man and he could provide. And so
wanting a partner who provides is a normal thing to want. Explicitly praying for specific luxury items as the marker of that provision is a slightly different. And that same materialism runs straight through why her own podcast actually ended.
What's going on with the podcast?
It makes me sad because with Nahal, we became friends so quickly. I don't want to say anything shitty about her, and I won't.
You guys didn't have a relationship prior to all of this?
No.
Okay.
So we just became friends pretty quickly, and then she wanted to do the podcast, and I was a little bit unsure, but then
it's crazy because she would say, I want to sleep with her man in front of her face. They just met.
Talked to my husband about it. He was like, why not? You've always wanted to try it. I think what happened was that we went through controversy so quickly into it that it kind of put a strain on the friendship, because I remember her saying, though, in Paris, she was like, my biggest fear is getting canceled. I mean, I haven't shared this with anyone, but I said, I really wish that you had been there more for me during, especially everything that happened in December.
Not because of the backlash, but because of a falling out with a friend at the exact same time everything else was happening.
I know the periphery of Akaash's fan base, which is, I will say, more of the podcast fan base. And I know a lot of people during like our controversy were saying like, oh, it's because of his fans. It's because of his fans. Like his comedy fans are not like that. It's more the podcast fan base that I don't think really resonate with him, because a lot of them are like really racist and right wing. I think like those of them are more like,
drop that narrative. It's not true. You're just a disgusting human being. Like, you know how some people are beautiful on the outside, disgusting on the inside? Yeah, this is it right there.
that. But yeah, anyways, I said like those peripheral fans, like they might come at us just because we're brown girls being opinionated and they don't like opinionated women.
Some of that criticism absolutely could include real prejudice. That's a fair possibility to hold. But it doesn't really explain why people across every background were saying the exact same thing about the exact same clips.
Want my content to reach the masses and just be a household name in that space and kind of be like the luxury brown comedy wag girl. And then eventually, like, hopefully maybe have like a skincare or clothing line or something like that.
She looks white. Why she keep saying brown?
I see it for you. I see it for you. I really think that you had to go through all of this to graduate from that, right?
Yeah.
She wants to be a household name, branch into a beauty line, the whole expansion plan, and she says it with zero acknowledgement of the stretch she'd just been through. And as for Akaash, whatever this entire saga cost him personally, he doesn't seem to have walked away with any new boundaries either.
Well, so to all the people that didn't believe in me and didn't think I could provide anything, I just had my third call with an agency today. They were so excited. I think it's safe to say your girl is going to start making money soon.
Rich.
The tables have turned. So what are you going to do for me now that I'm making money?
I don't cook. I don't clean.
I feel like the dynamics need to change now.
Yeah, I'm the princess now. Well, and
It's funny that he's not funny anymore. All right? It's not cute.
men wear purses, so I want all the bags. I'm gonna be out here popping this butthole for the black friends.
I don't cook, I don't clean, but let me tell you how I got this ring.
It's the same dynamic, the same jokes about money and control, like the last few months never happened at all. So here's the actual lesson buried in all of this. When the criticism gets loud enough, you don't actually have to sit with any of it. You can call it misogyny, call it bots, call it jealousy, and keep going exactly like before, and enough of your audience will go along with it. So here's the real question. When someone gets handed months of very specific, very public criticism and responds by changing absolutely nothing, is that actual confidence? Or is that just what it looks like right before the exact same thing happens again? Leave your thoughts in the comments below, and if you enjoyed the video, smack the like and subscribe buttons, and I'll see you in the next one.
You know, I grew up watching a guy just like this. We called him Mario Sanchez, where he would laugh and the girl would look at him and say, "Stop laughing. Nothing funny." And then he would just stop laughing. And I had the fear of God when dealing with his girl. And that only makes you want to grow up and say, never me. I would never be like that guy. That is the worst case scenario. And I got to say, with my second marriage, I went through hell. It was the worst marriage on earth. And yeah, marriage is a lie. It's not real. It's not forever. Back in the days, marriages only happened because if the guy was bringing in all the money, the woman didn't want to walk away from all of that. It just stuck around for convenience reasons. Not really because she loved him. That's not real. So all these old ladies back in the day marriages, none of them were real. They're only there for convenience because it is what it is. They're not going to go out and get a 9-to-5 and build up all that wealth, or go through the cases of having the court decide half and half. They don't know how to manage themselves. And that was probably most of the cases back in the days. But hopefully I get to teach my son that, you know what? Relationships are temporary. This is the moment in time where we just love spending time with each other. And it could end at any time. And you got to be okay with that. All right? I think the worst case scenario is sharing. I wouldn't want to share my girl with any other guy. To me, that's the second worst scenario. The first worst scenario is when a girl fucks up your money and does not respect your money and just starts spending a whole bunch of shit, which my second wife started doing or tried to do. But the second most disrespectful shit is hooking up with other guys, which again, my second wife started doing also. So she had both negatives. Like looking at other guys and spending my money, fuck out of here. So yeah, that came to a close quick. And wasn't like that at the beginning of the relationship. It was a 6-year marriage. Like started acting up year 5. She said, fuck it. Well, year 4 actually. So year 4 started acting up. So by year 6, it was a divorce. Worst case scenario. Nothing. Men just gotta stop trying. All right. All those videos you see, the red pill videos saying don't move in with the chick or don't do this, don't do that. They make a whole lot of sense. Yeah. You can't give these girls the majority of what you got. Right? You give them little things and they see it as big. You know, when you give them a gift, a new phone, here, go away, whatever. They see it as a big thing, but you know those little gifts are nothing compared to giving them your credit, a monthly subscription where you're giving them money every month, or she sees you during the day because at night she goes sleep with some other guy. That's the worst case scenario. But you know what? I went through all of that. Right now, going through divorce. I mean, we're in July. My lawyer said hopefully by December this will be over. So I think in December I'll talk a little bit more about it. Let's just get there. With that said, let me step away. I'll be right back because I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do for the rest of my day. Hopefully you enjoy it. Remember to give this video a thumbs up. With that said, peace.